Welcome back, friends. Today we're in a quiet village in Azerbaijan, surrounded by a gentle snowfall, and I'm making mutton kebabs that are rich, juicy, and full of flavor. Stick with me. I'll show you every step, share tips for perfect grilling, and tell a little story about this traditional dish that's been loved for generations. While I'm cleaning up the snowy aftermath of winter here, don't forget to subscribe. Join me for more cozy village adventures, cooking, and little stories from the heart of Azerbaijan. Feeding the little sheep in the middle of winter is always a funny sight. They're so eager to eat, despite the snow all around. It's amazing how resilient they are, and it reminds me how traditional village life revolves around simple routines like this. Let's chop some firewood for the stove. There's something almost meditative about it. The smell of fresh wood, the crisp winter air, and the rhythm of the axe hitting the logs. I'm pouring water into the pan now. This is where I'll be cooking the meat. Boiling or simmering mutton is an old technique used to tenderize even the toughest cuts. It's time to work with the mutton fat. Mutton fat has been prized for centuries, not just for flavor, but for its ability to make meat incredibly juicy. In Azerbaijan and other parts of the Caucasus, it was often reserved for special occasions, family feasts, and even celebrations in royal kitchens. Historically, mutton fat was considered a luxury ingredient. In Persia and the Ottoman Empire, cooks used it in elaborate stews and roasted dishes. Royal families would insist on it for banquets because it symbolized abundance and wealth. And even the simplest kebab became something indulgent when cooked with it. Royal kitchens in Turkey and Persia had cooks dedicated to handling fat. They would layer it carefully in roasting pans or blend it into minced meat for kebabs and meatballs. Even for a simple village recipe, following these methods today gives a taste of history in every bite. One fascinating fact: in many traditional villages, people would render mutton fat after the slaughter season and store it for winter cooking. It was a survival trick as much as a culinary one. Having a jar of rendered fat meant you could cook rich meals even when fresh meat was scarce. In Azerbaijan, mutton fat isn't just about flavor, it's about tradition. Families pass down methods for handling it, cutting it into cubes, rendering slowly, or mixing it with herbs. Each household has its secrets, like a little alchemy that turns humble meat into a feast. Did you know that in some regions of North Africa, mutton fat was used as a glaze for breads and flatbreads? It wasn't just meat, it was a cooking medium, adding flavor and helping pastries stay moist. The same principle is at work in our kebabs. The fat protects the meat from drying out. Now I'm moving on to working with the beef brisket. It's fascinating how this cut, tough at first glance, becomes incredibly tender and flavorful when handled correctly. Historically, cooks in Europe and the Middle East prized the brisket for slow-cooked stews and roasts, knowing that patience and low heat transform it into a rich, melt-in-your-mouth dish. I'm slicing thin pieces of beef and also preparing some mutton fat to wrap around them. This method of enclosing fat in meat has been used for centuries to keep the meat juicy during cooking. In royal kitchens across Persia and the Ottoman Empire, chefs used similar techniques to impress guests with tender, flavorful dishes that melted in the mouth. Historically, wrapping fat around lean cuts wasn't just about flavor. It was a preservation trick, too. In cold climates, fat acted as a barrier, keeping the meat from drying out. Even travelers on long journeys would layer fat around their meat to ensure it stayed succulent for days. In Europe, nobles loved this technique. Kings and queens requested roasts with a layer of fat, which not only enriched the taste, but also created a beautiful, glistening presentation. I'm threading the peppers onto the skewer, making sure they're evenly spaced. I'm also slicing some eggplant to add later. Skewering vegetables like this isn't just practical, it helps them cook evenly and soak up the flavors from the meat and fat. Now let's slice potatoes. I'll thread them alternately with mutton fat chunks onto the skewer. Historically, this combination wasn't just for flavor. It ensured the meat and vegetables stayed moist. Fat would slowly melt, basting everything as it cooked over an open flame. The remaining pieces of mutton fat I'm rolling in turmeric before sending them to fry in the tandoor. Turmeric not only gives a beautiful golden color, but also adds a subtle, earthy flavor. The mutton fat rolled in turmeric is ready, and I'm taking it out of the tandoor. Wow, the aroma is incredible, spicy, smoky, and golden. It's amazing how such a simple ingredient transforms when cooked slowly. Now it's time to hang the skewers with vegetables in the tandoor. This method has been used for generations, from humble village kitchens to palace banquets, showing how patience and attention to detail turn simple ingredients into unforgettable meals. The vegetables are ready too, and I'm taking them out of the tandoor. Let's carry everything inside and dig in. I'm starving. The aroma, the warmth, and the flavors make it all worth it. I'm taking the vegetables and meat off the skewers now. The colors and aromas are incredible. Smoky, juicy, and golden. Just looking at it makes my mouth water. Let's slice the mutton fat and lay the pieces on dark bread. On top, I'm adding the roasted vegetables. This layering creates a perfect balance of richness, freshness, and texture. Wow, this is pure deliciousness. I really recommend you try making this at home. The combination of mutton fat, juicy meat, and roasted veggies is unforgettable.
Super.
Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more cooking adventures, outdoor experiments, and traditional recipes from Azerbaijan and beyond.